welcome to another video. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for clicking in, thank you for joining me. So today I'll be talking about how God came through for me and I got married in 4 months. My story is I was that girl who waited upon the Lord for 9 years. From the time God spoke about you will be married to such and such a person and this is what I am calling you to do, to the time it manifested was actually 9 years. 9 years of process. Now that I look back, I had to go through, actually God took me through a process where I had to change my mindset, I had to change my thinking, I had to change my understanding of what it is to be a godly woman into what it will be being a godly wife, into a godly mother, bringing in a godly generation in a godly lineage. And thank God my husband is of the same way of thinking. So this is the story. I had waited upon the Lord for a very long time. And I was wondering why it wasn't happening for me. It had gotten to a place where I was asking God, what exactly is it? Why am I not getting married? What is it about me? I am born again. I serve in church. I'm in ministry. I'm a pastor, but nothing. And it took a lot of space, a lot of time, and a lot of pressing in, and a lot of negative thoughts going through my mind because my friends were getting married. People were, this one had a boyfriend, this one had a girlfriend, but Marie was alone. And it got to me, and I'd go home to my family gatherings, and my aunties would be like, when are you bringing us someone? When are you bringing this man? What is it about? Why are you not getting married? As in, aren't you in ministry? Are you into serving God? And the pressure was so intense. And the more intense it became, the more I actually fell at the feet of God and yes, made my mistakes. Thank God for His grace and mercy. But I fell at the feet of Jesus and I kept asking Him, Lord, you need to show me what exactly is going on. And the first thing I remember He did was to tell me, go to your phone and check who's on your phone and who are you entertaining. I need to change how you see the men that I created into you seeing them as children of God and respecting them and not taking them for granted. So I went through a period where God told me, delete his number, delete this person's number, stop entertaining this kind of language, stop entertaining this kind of flirting, this doesn't glorify me. And it was painful and I had to be alone. I went through a period and a season where I was alone. God removed certain men and removed certain friendships that I had that were just not right. And I was left bare. And then He started bringing in the right people. Another thing that God took me through was your language. How can you speak like this? These certain words should not come out from your lips. The abundance of your heart is showing. So stop speaking vulgar, stop speaking negativity. You have so much on your tongue that you need to change, and the transforming of how I speak about myself started changing into how do you view yourself. Those are a very long time, for a very long time I actually thought that one person said you have to be neat and clean and your space needs to be a spectacular for you to get and I believed it. So I would clean myself silly. I would clean everywhere because I thought if I cleaned enough, then God would give me a husband. It didn't happen. It helped me because now I'm a more organized and neater person, but that was not it. That was not the requirement for me to get married. And so it got to a point where, I don't know if you guys had this, but I had this a lot, where I would go for a meeting with my pastor and I'd be looking, is he the one? Is he the one? Could he be the one? So I would bring myself out to, like, I would showcase myself. I'd showcase myself, oh yeah, I'm single and I'm looking, I'm single and I'm looking. that did not work for me either. And so I tried to take myself to different places to be seen, going to different, because I wanted a godly man. So I'd take myself to meetings, but my search was for a man, and I was looking for him myself until COVID hit, and I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to seek you, God. I've been looking for a man. I've been searching, I've been cleaning my space, I've been dressing up in a certain way to attract a certain kind of person, but now I'm going to change and I'm going to look for you. So 2020, COVID had just hit and no one was going anywhere here, and people were in their houses, jobs, businesses were closed. So I finally decided, now since I'm in ministry and I have access to church, let me go to church. And let me just wait and see and seek God. I turned it around from me and I turned it to him. God, what do you see in me? I am going to be coming here every day, every morning until evening, until right just before curfew was the time for curfew had hit. So I'd go early in the morning and I'd leave right before curfew. Every day, I'm doing the same thing. God, what is it? What is it? Why am I not married? What exactly is it? Is it my heart? Search my heart. Find. Is there anything? And I remember I was constantly there. Constantly seeking, constantly asking, constantly in worship and prayer. And then I turned it and I was like, okay, God, now search. Completely open me up and see if there's anything that you need to change, any mindset that you need to change, anything that I need to pray against, any kind of iniquity and patterns that I had to look at, patterns in my family that would cause me not to be married, And God started showing me the state of your heart. You have certain trust issues that I need you to give me access into. There are certain ways of thinking that I need access into. There are certain beliefs that you have that I need access into. And once I said, okay, God, come into this, come into how I think, come into how I have perceived, come into my situation and orchestrate this part of my life, that's when God came in and started taking me through. Pray in such a manner. Forgive this person. Change how you speak. Now start speaking my words. Start trusting that I am a good father and I will give you good gifts. Start trusting me. Start believing in my words. Start walking. Because for so long it was a far-fetched thing that I would get married. I was single for such a long time that I didn't think that this would happen to me. And he started saying, I need you to now start speaking life. Start speaking in this direction. Start saying and speak the things that are not as though they were. And once I changed my thinking and my thought process and I gave my life to God and I said, okay, what kind of person do you have in mind for me? That's when things started to change all of a sudden. And someone called me and they were like, I just feel like praying for you. And they made this prayer and they said, God, remove the filter through which she thinks her husband is going to come. And once they said that, I saw this person. Immediately, they just said amen, and I saw this person. And this person was Brian, who is now my husband. But I never thought in a million years that he would look at me or I would be in a relationship with him. I never thought. I never saw it. But God saw something that I needed, not what I wanted. And my husband has an amazing heart, and he has an amazing personality. He's so gentle and yet so strong, and it's just something that I needed because I go into spaces. I'm a lot, and my husband really knows how to carry me, because God once told me, I will give you someone who I will show how to love you because of who you are and what you've been through. And that is my husband now. Back to the story. So when my eyes were opened and I saw Brian, and I was like, hi. How? And we used to be in ministry together. We still are. We'd go for missions together. We would be sent out together, just me and him and other people, but the focus was me and him. Would go and feed people, go and do heal the land, and we would do certain things. Would be sent different places. Then I never thought until November, December 2020, and that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I think there's something there. But I never told him, and I know on his side, finally, I know there was something there, but we never really pursued this thing until the end of December, where he finally said, okay, I'm thinking this is the direction that I want to go with you. And the people that were around us were actually excited for us. They were very excited, and a way that you will know is if it is of God, you won't hide it. If it is ordained by God, it will be so accepted, and it will be easy. It won't be hard. There won't be so much. There was no struggle. I didn't struggle. I didn't hide him. I didn't try and convince people to see the kind of person that he was, because he was generally a good person and people were just drawn to him. For me also. And January, he finally said, you're betrothed. We are going in this direction. February 14th, Valentine's Day, I got engaged, and we planned the wedding in a month, March. April 24th, I was married. And I just want to encourage you, this thing really happens when you invite God in and allow him to orchestrate your steps and your life, because he says, I have good plans for you. So it doesn't matter how long you've waited. I waited for 9 years, and God finally came through, and when he came through, it was very accelerated, and it happened in 4 months. So he will redeem the time that was stolen. He will redeem the years that was stolen from you. My story is very different from yours. How God wrote mine and how God orchestrated mine and how God made it happen is completely different, and he will do it for you. God doesn't need to copycat what he did for me to do it for you. He will do it for you in a different, most amazing way. It will blow your mind. And in the same way you have been comforted, comfort others, because there's someone out there also who is going to want to hear your story, and it will encourage them to wait upon the Lord and to trust him and to do things in the right way, the God kind of way, because once God writes your story, it's beautiful. Because if it is orchestrated by God, then he will fight for your battles. He will fight your battles, and he will come through for you. And you know, your grounding will be Jesus. And once Jesus is involved, all these other things will follow. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. So true. All these things will be added unto you. That was my story, and it will happen for you. For me, it happened in 4 months, after waiting for a period of time and after a process where he did what he needed to do, and he did it for me. He will do it for you. So thank you so much for hearing my story. I pray that it encouraged you somehow, in some way, to wait upon the Lord. He is faithful. God is faithful. God is merciful. God is so good. So please like, share, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. So God bless you.